Hi everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are. First of all, thank you so much for attending Dataverse Summit 2022. So let me share my screen and let me talk about today's session, what I'm going to cover and just be with me throughout the entire session because at the end, as always, we will play some quiz as well. So just be with me throughout the session. My session level is overall like intermediate level of session, I can say. I try to cover the more concept. Sometimes we are using Dataverse almost like whoever are in this particular session. Basically, most of us have used the Dataverse table and all, but sometimes we are missing couple of cool features that are provided by Microsoft in order to achieve our business needs. I'm going to cover those features in depth throughout this session. So now let me first talk about a few things about me, myself, Dhruvin Shah, and I'm from India. I'm a Microsoft MVP for Business Application and Data Platform and Microsoft Certified Trainer. I'm conducting different classes on Power Apps, Power BI, and mostly I'm very active on YouTube. So you can always visit my YouTube channel where I'm publishing tech videos and I'm writing articles as well. And this is the shortcut URL linktree/dhruvin.shah where you can find all the links of my social media handles. And I recommend to follow me on my Instagram, which is Power Platform Guy, and Twitter, which is dhruvinshah16. So these are the platform where usually I'm uploading short content on Power Platform. And other details you will be getting on this shortcut URL linktree/dhruvin.shah. So I'll paste this link onto chat window so you can always visit on all my social profiles from there. So without further talking about me, let me start with today's session agenda, what we are going to create. Uh, so this is the thing overall content that I'm going to cover. Like first we will start with what different type of tables we can create. Mostly, I have seen many developers who are working with Dataverse. They are right away creating a table, but they don't know sometimes that there are different type of tables. Like you can create activity table, you can create virtual tables in inside your Dataverse. So what are those concepts? I am going to cover that things in detail. Also, we will check some tips and tricks related Dataverse. Like sometimes we have a need where we need to check that, let's say I created this Dataverse table, but how many apps and flows are available for those Dataverse table with the consumption of that thing, and how many objects are required in order to consume that specific table when we add to the solution. So I'm going to those tricks in this session. After that, we will be talking about three most important column of Dataverse, which is calculated rollup and formula columns, which is recently being introduced. After that, we will be talking about relationship, and in relationship specifically, I'm going to talk about some advanced settings that you can do, like parental, referential, custom, what type of relationships you can create and what is the purpose of each advanced setting over there. Let's try to deep dive into that. And at last, I will talk about some tips related duplicate detection for your Dataverse table, how you can do those settings from your admin center, and if you just want to delete whole long stuff from your Dataverse table, how you can do those things. So we will talk about that thing in depth. So this is the overall full-fledged agenda for today's session. So I don't have more slides now, just couple of slides and we will directly go with the demo. So first of all, let me just talk about what different type of tables we can create into Dataverse. So let's say for an example, here I have already opened my make.powerapps.com and I already expanded my Dataverse table. Now to understand that thing, always go over here and to type section and just click on filter by, and you can see three different types here: activity, standard, and virtual. Have you ever explored like what do we mean by standard? And mostly we are creating our custom tables most of the time, but most of the time developers just avoid these options like activity table and virtual table. So my focus is when creating a table, where do we have these options and what type of behavior it has. Let me just start with those things first. So first of all, let's try to create a new table into Dataverse, and let's say I'm providing new name to my table like Dataverse Summit. And when we click on this advanced option, we have these options like what type of table we want to create. Standard table, activity table, and virtual table. Standard table, almost all of us created. And we know that it provides us a flexibility that some of the out of the box columns are created there. And on top of that, you can write up your own columns. But how about activity and virtual table? Let's try to focus those areas. So let's say for an example, whenever I'm selecting activity, make sure that here it is providing you the record ownership is only be managed by user or teams. It doesn't have organization ownership. Now, when we have standard option, we always have a flexibility here that record ownership either can be user or team or organization depending on your need you can set. But in case of activity, it always be managed by user or team. Then let's say for an example, if I'm selecting virtual, so in virtual as well, it always the record ownership is only organization level. So this is something that we need to consider while we are defining our table type. So let me just start with the activity table. So what is the main purpose of creating an activity? So an activity can be a thought of any action for which an entry can be made on a calendar. So it basically has different time dimensions. So when you create this kind of table, basically you have mostly time related fields like start time, stop time, due date, duration, like that. So let me just create this table. Uh, just for time saving, I already created one activity table, so I'm going to show it to you right away. So the basic step is just select the just provide the name of your table, select the type as activity, ownership you can't change it, always user or team, and just hit save. That will create the activity table for you. I already created one activity table over here, and now I'm going to show you what type of columns do we have here in the activity table. So over here, remember one thing, whenever you are creating standard table, you always have a primary key column as your ID column, means your GUID column, right? Now over here, in this case, your subject column is your primary key. So subject is always considered as a primary column name in the activity table. Second important thing here is, as I told, it has the different time dimensions. So start date, stop date. These are some columns which are part of the activity table. On top of that as well, you can define your own custom columns as well. And in Dataverse itself, there are many out of the box tables are also available with the type of activity. So if you filter it over here, and if you just select here activity table, you can find that for different type of things like appointment, email, fax, letter, phone call, recurring appointment, table task. These all are the default out of the box activity tables are provided as a part of your Dataverse. So basically, when you have this type of requirement, when you want to make your entry with respect to a calendar and you need more time in dimension data, uh, go with the activity table. But yeah, here consider that thing as well, it can be only managed by user or teams, not at the organization level. So that's the one hidden thing. Most of the time, I have seen that no, very few people are exploring this activity type table. Now, let me talk about another thing, which is virtual table. Virtual table opens up lots of capability while you are developing the things. So a virtual table is a custom table in Dataverse that has a column containing the data from the external data sources. External data sources means, let me give you an example. I don't want to store my data inside my Dataverse. Let's say for an example, I have this virtual machine. I have one of my Azure SQL Server, and in my Azure SQL Server, I have this table. Now, what I want to do is, on top of that, I want to build some of my applications. But I don't want to keep my data on my Dataverse as well as on my SQL server. So there is a concept. You can create a virtual table where you can connect this SQL server directly to your Dataverse table. It just act as your Dataverse table, but behind the scene it stores your data into SQL server itself. Now, how to create the virtual table for your organization? So first of all, let me show you the end outcome for this so you can relate more what do we mean by this virtual table, and then I will show you the process of creating a virtual table in Dataverse. So let me just head over to my browser window. So let's say for an example, this is one of the virtual table. Give me a moment. Yes. So this is the one of the virtual table I have here, and let me just clicking on edit, and let me show you the data. So at this moment I have two rows, and same way in my SQL server as well, it is they have two rows, right? It's directly connected over there. Now let's say I'm making something here. I'm just adding one more row here. I'm just adding the name here, like, and let's say I'm just adding random phone number and subject as English, and that's it. I added this row here. Now let me go to my virtual machine. Let me just run my query again here, and let's see. See, this record is available over here. However, this is not published because it just take slight time in order to reflect this thing over here. It's not fully saved. Might be that's the reason the phone number is showing null. But this is how it is connected. Same thing if you update any of your existing record and hit refresh, basically it directly sync up those records. That's how you don't need to store many things in your Dataverse. Now the question arises that how we can make up that link in between your SQL server and your Dataverse. So let's get started on that point. So to create the virtual table, we need to follow the steps. The very first thing is that we need to establish the connection. So you just simply need to go to your connection section in order to create your SQL connection. So from here, simply follow this. Let's say if you have SQL Server, search for your SQL, and over here you need to provide your authentication. I have SQL Server authentication. I'm just providing it. I need to provide my server name and database name and click on create. That will create your SQL Server connection first. So first create connection. I already did that connection, so I'm not doing it again. And let me show you the connections that I created. So this is the one which I already created. So I'm not doing that again. Sorry, my connection is this one 4 hours ago. This is the one which I created, the same server and things I added here. Now the next step. Next step is that we need to create a connection reference for it. And for that, I recommend just go to the solution and create a new solution, or let's say if you already have any existing solution, just create your connection reference inside that. So let's say for an example, I have one of the solution called virtual table proof of concept. So I'm just going here. Let it to be opened. And over here to create the connection reference, simply you need to click on new. Then you simply need to click on more, and there is an option connection reference. Just select that. Let me just switch off my camera. Maybe that will consume less bandwidth. But yeah, this is the name that you need to provide here. And from here, you need to select your connector first. So my connector is SQL Server. So let's select it. And then you need to select your connection. So connection is something we just established. So this is something that is the connection I have given here. And let's provide the name of your connection reference like SQL virtual table and just click on create. Okay, so I already did that thing, so I'm not clicking on create button again, but this is the process that you need to do. All right, so once you do that, what happen here is this type of connection reference will be created. Now the next step is you need to use this connection reference and you need to connect that connection reference into advanced settings. So you simply need to click on the advanced settings from the top here. From the settings, click on the administration, and in administration there is an option virtual entity data sources. You simply need to select that, and over here you need to provide that connection reference. So just click on new. There is an option virtual connector data provider. Just click on OK. That will take some time in order to reflect the another page. Here you need to provide the new virtual connector data source. You can provide any name. Connection reference will already being appear here. So you just need to search for your connection reference. So I'm just searching for the stuff. So basically the connection reference name is SQL virtual table. So that is something that we need to search. I think I did some wrong search. Let me hit refresh again. Name is SQL virtual table. SQL virtual table. See, it is appearing here. Just provide any name over here. SQL virtual table and uh, just provide data set value over here. So what we need to do is once we are done with it, mostly the main thing is to provide your connection reference over here, and after that simply just click on save or save and close. Uh, so what happen here is once you do that, it will just show like this. Uh, I already did that because that process is also taking some time, like approximately you need to wait for sometimes 10 minutes. Like it create immediately, but the reflection is taking time in order to available those things into your Dataverse. So that's why I created earlier. So once you do that, it just appear over here into this grid. And after that, what happen here is in the background, it process the things and it will create one Dataverse. One thing for you here, which is, let me show you. It's difficult to find out here. Just a minute. Oh, I'm looking at wrong place. So sorry. We need to simply go to the table after creating that thing, and you will be able to see entity catalog for SQL virtual table. So what happened here is when you hit save, when you create this thing, this part is created automatically for you. You don't need to do any extra step for you, but as I told you, it will take some time. So basically it is a entity catalog for the connection that you have established for your SQL server. So when you click on that, what happen here is it will show you all the tables that are available as a part of your SQL server. So it is showing me, you can see here, I have many SQL server databases over there. So if I open here, you can see I have student, event register, country, all of this table. So all of these tables under Power Platform database. So it has showing me all the tables over here. It is showing me some system tables as well over here. Now the thing is that I need to choose which table I want to use as my virtual table. So simply what we need to do here is simply we need to edit this stuff, or maybe we can one thing, let's click on edit. Let's say I need this table, student table. So I'm just going here, edit this row using the form, and we need to toggle one feature. So let's say this is the student table. I just want to use as my virtual table. So simply over here, create or refresh entity, select yes. After that, you need to select the primary key of your virtual entity. If in my case, the ID column is my primary key, and primary field like student name I can consider over here, and just click on save and close. So what happened here is behind the scene, it is trying to connect that Azure SQL database with your as a part of your Dataverse table. So I'm clicking on save and close, but again, this is also something which will take some time. Immediately it not reflect, depending on your data, like how many rows do you have in your SQL table. Based on that, it is populating the stuff. But how it will look like after you click on save, let me show you. So once you hit save and close, you simply need to go to your table sections again, and over here it will create automatically one table named custom entity, and the name of your table, which is student. So what happen here is it auto create all the columns from your Azure SQL, and you can see all the records that are available over there inside your Dataverse as well. So that's how this virtual table concept will look like in the Dataverse. So this is also really useful, and it opens up lots of door for your organization or business need. So this is also one of the cool thing. Not only custom table, we can create the activity, we can create this type of virtual uh, table as well for our Dataverse. So that was the first thing. Now let me move towards some another cool features of Dataverse. Like let's say I'm here into my Dataverse table, and let's say I have one table called country, or let me just pick up some of the good. Yes, this is one of the table called knowledge assessment. And let's say I just wanted to know that where I have used this table actually. I'm very new. Then how many flow and how many tables are affected connected with this. So you just need to simply use this feature using this table. When you click on that, it will show you all the apps that are consuming this table data. So these are the two apps, one model driven, one canvas. These two tables are using this data. And let's say if any flow is consuming the data from this table, it will show under this section. So this is also very useful when you want to clean up your environment and you don't know where actually it's being used, or it's just someone randomly created. So utilize this feature. Another cool thing I just want to show here, like when we have any Dataverse table and when you go to the advanced table, most of you know about this dependencies, but uh, let's say for an example, you just wanted to know that I have this particular table. So what are the other tables which has the dependencies on that? Maybe sometimes you have used this table as a lookup column onto some other table, or sometimes you have established the relationship in between tables. So at that time it's good to know before before you remove or add anything inside this particular table. So use this feature as well. Now moving forward, let me talk about the another interesting thing over here, which is like relationships. But before that, we'll talk about some sort of columns like primary column, roll-up column, calculated column, and formula columns. So for that, let me just explain you. First, I have taken a very small architecture here. Like I have one product table and product line table. So let me just bring that up. So this is my product table, and let me just duplicate this tab as well. So this is my product table where I have all the parent product, and product line tables. Let me just bring that up. So this is my product line items. Now, both of these tables are in relationship with each other. It has one-to-many relationship. So relationship definitely I'll cover in next few minutes, but just consider that one product can have multiple product line. Now, let me just do here one thing. Like I want to have something like, let's say this is my product line table. I have quantity and price column. I just want to calculate sales, total price by multiplying quantity with price. So there are two ways to do that. Earlier, most of the time we were using the calculated column because we were most familiar with it. Now we have a formula column as well available in the Dataverse. So formula column is something which is supporting PowerFX expression. And let's say for an example, let me just create a new column over here so we will get a better context around it. So I'm clicking on columns and let's click on new column and let's create formula column. So this is still in preview. So just use it wisely. It's not in GA at this moment. So I'm just clicking on new column. Let me just provide the name of the column as total price 1 and formula column fx. And in the data type, you can see formula, which is in preview, and it is providing you this interface. Now over here, you can write any PowerFX expression. So let's say I just want to achieve a requirement that if the quantity is greater than 10, I want to provide a 20% discount to the people. Otherwise, it should be the same as the multiplication. So I can right away write the same logic here. So you just need to write if quantity. So just search for quantity is greater than 10. Then what should be the formula? Price into quantity. I want to give 20% discount. So what the ultimate price is 0.8. Otherwise, we just want to achieve price into quantity, right? And now let's finish our formula and we are all good. Now let's just provide, click on save and that will create a formula for you. So this is the formula column. Same thing you can do with the calculated column as well. So it's not something that, if you are using calculated column, it is going to be deprecated in upcoming time. It's not a case. So do not worry about it. So now let me just do the similar thing with the calculated column. So almost the same is calculated column total price, and you just need to provide the data type. Let's select whole number, and from here, from behavior, let's select the calculated. So you just need to click on save and exit, and that will open one pop-up after that to create a calculated column for yourself. So just click on there, and over here you can define your if else condition if you want, or if you directly want to do the multiplication, just search for quantity column, multiply by your price column, and hit save and just click on save and close. So that will create a calculator column for you. Now the question arises in our mind that this is at the table level. Let's check these things over here. And let me just add those columns that we just created. We created CC total price, and we created one more column FX, total price FX. And I'm just clicking on save. So these columns are available. And if I'm changing anything here, you can see the values are changing right away. Right. So this is the stuff like calculated and uh, formula column. Now, let's say these are all my product line. Let me just choose the appropriate product over here. Like client A software, client A service. Okay, so these are all related to my parent product, which is client A. Now at the root level, means in my product table, I need the summation of all of those three prices. Then I can create a roll-up column. So roll-up column is something which is basically used when you just need aggregated value from your child table and just want it here as a part of your end result. You can always create a roll-up column. And for that same thing you need to follow. You need to go here, create a new column, and just let me create roll up sum of price, and let's select the data type as a number type. So I'm just selecting decimal, and from here let's select roll up, click on save and exit. That will open the pop-up for you to create the roll up column. Yep, it has opened, and over here you need to select your related entity. So the related entity is automatically showing here based on the relationship type. So we have product line items as our related table, and over here you need to provide a column what you want to aggregate. So just click OK and go to aggregation, select sum and which column you want to calculate. So let's say in my case, I just want to have a value from my formula column. I just provide it and hit save. So sorry, we can't use this column. I forget to tell you. So let me just pick up anything from here, total price column, and let's click OK and clicking on save and close. And what happened here is now that will create one roll up column for you. And in roll-up column, basically it start aggregating the value from your child table. And if you just wanted to do that right away, simply what you need to use is, let me just click on the edit from here and let me pick up any record here. And let me just click on edit using the form. So when you open the form of your product table, for any roll up column, this is the one which I already created earlier. So there is a calculator icon. When you click on it, it shows you recalculate option. And when you hit recalculate, it just do that aggregation and show that values for you over here inside your parent table. So that's how the roll up concept will work. So we talked about calculated, roll up and formula column. This three column. We know the purpose of each column now. Now, let's talk about the relationship, which is the very important concept. Most of you are aware about the relationship, but let me talk about some advanced level settings that we can apply into our relationship table as well. So let's say for an example, I will not talk here about like, you know, you can create one to one, one to many, many to many. We all know that. But what's the different settings you can apply? Let's talk about that. So let's say I have product and product line items with one to many relationship. Now what I want to do is I just want to show you some advanced setting in the relationship. So whenever you apply any relationship, there are three types of behavior you can set up here: referential, parental, and custom. What do we mean by each of these three type of behavior? It's very important to know when you are building the Dataverse table with relationship with each other. Let's talk about the referential first. So when you select referential, you have two options for delete: restrict or remove link. So what happened here is, let me explain you this feature first. Referential plus remove link, what it will do. Let's say I am deleting my parent record. Then I already have some child record for that. So when I delete my parent record, it automatically remove the value of the lookup column that is taken as a relationship column. So in this case, let's say this is my product line item and here I do have a product. Let's assume that you are deleting client A software surface from your parent table. Then it will just clear out this value into this child table. Okay, so that is the first thing. Second thing, referential and restrict. what it will do. Let's say if you try to delete the record of client A from your main table, then it will show you an error that you already have a child record. First delete those child record and then delete this thing. So it will show you that warning. So if you need a feature that you don't want allow users to delete your parent record if it already has some child record, then use referential plus restrict option. Okay, then we have another option, parental. Parental means straight away. Like if you delete your parent record without any warning, it will remove all your associated child record. So let's say I'm deleting this product client a software service from this table. It will remove all these three child record over there. So that's it. So this is parental. Parental means full control. When you delete something, all things are deleted. Referential, it provides two options, either to give you warning or either create removing the link for your lookup column. And third is custom. Based on your need, you can set up here. So there are different options here like delete, assign, share, unshare, and unparent. Now, what do we mean by each of these options? Let's see one by one. Delete. This setting is useful when you want to assign, like if your parent record is deleted, what you want to do with your child record. There are three options here: cascade all, remove link, and restrict. Same behavior is here, like restrict, it will show you warning, remove link, it will just removing that link, and cascade all will work as a parental, it will right away delete those child record as well. So that's one. Now assigned, what do we mean by that? Let's say if the assignee of your parent record is being changed, what you want to do with your child record, you can set those settings here. Like cascade all, which means you want to assign the same assignee to your child record, then select first option, cascade all. If you just want to assign that your cascade active means active records in your child table, then use this option. Then user owned means whatever record is owned by that specific user, you only want to change those, use this option. And none, you don't want to perform any action, just leave it as is. Then third option is share. If your parent record is shared, what you want to do with your child record, you also want to share those with the same person, or you want to do only for the active or user own, or don't want to do anything. It's like that. Unshare, same thing. Like if you are unsharing your parent record, what you want to do with your child record, just select the appropriate action from here. And same way for reparent, same thing, same options over here. So it just reparent your stuff. So that's all about the main thing related relationships. So we talked about mainly three things: referential, very easy; parental is very easy; custom is also now clear. So this is something which is any Dataverse developer you should know about it, because many times we have a requirement that you know when we have this parent-child relationship in place and we just want to restrict ourselves for doing couple of things. So depending on our need, we can simply achieve the things based on our requirement. So this is one important feature for relationship. So that's something also we need to consider. Now, moving forward, we have two last things over here, and after that we will go with our quiz. So, uh, the next thing is, let's say you have one table and you have plenty of records there, and now you just want to perform bulk delete for your Dataverse table data. So how you can do it? For that as well, there is a specific provision over here. So let me show you those options from the admin center. So over here for that, we simply need to click on the admin center. Then we simply need to select our environment. In the environment, let's say currently I'm working with the default environment, so I'm just selecting that. You simply need to click on the setting here from the top, and there are different features over here in data management. So there is a feature called bulk deletion. Simply select this. So it will open another window for you where you can define the bulk delete job for your table. To define that, select new, and it is just asking you this kind of interface, what you basically want to do as a part of your delete operation. So I just selected that, and from here we need to simply select our uh, Dataverse table name. So let's say I'm just selecting a table name called product line items. And from here, there is an option to select the specific entity. If you are if you want to add some and or operation depending on the conditions, you can just set it up. And then you simply need to click on next, and it will just show you the warning that you have not defined any search criteria here. So all the records for the selected entities will be deleted. That's fine. And just click on OK. And it will provide you an option that when you want to start your bulk deletion. So you can just set up the time based on your need. And if you just want to schedule this thing as well, like after every 30 days, you just want to delete the record from your table, just use this option and go from there. And it is emailing as well. If you just wanted to notify someone after this activity is performed, you can just choose that as well and just click on next. And it's just like it will start at 4:15 p.m. If you want to change your time and want to do it right away, you can just select the appropriate time based on your need. And let's click on next and just click on submit. So what happen here is that job will be created over here, and you can see that job in a while. So you can see this is the one that we created, and this is in progress at this moment, zero deleted, zero failure, and it's the same time. So once it is completed, you will be able to see this thing succeeded. So it just did, maybe let's see, or maybe we can directly check into our Dataverse table that we created product line items that should be wiped up all the data basically upon completion of the deletion. So yeah, we don't have any data now, so it just perform that thing and perform bulk delete over there. Right, so that's one thing. Another thing is like sometimes we have a requirement where we need to set up some sort of duplicate detection on our table, that if uh, some rows has the same data, we just want to detect that, or we just want to avoid those situations. For that, it also provides the duplicate detection functionality. So same thing you need to do, you simply need to go to your Power Platform Admin Center one more time. So simply go again, select your environment, click on the setting here, and again go to the data management. So here there is an option called duplicate detection role. So here you can define your role. So let's say I already created it, so I'm just opening that again. But if you want to create a new one, there is an option to create the new duplicate detection rule from here, where you just first need to provide the entity. And let me just create one so we will get a better idea. So you can just provide any random name here, like product duplicate detection one, and on which record type you want to apply that. So I just want to apply my product table or product line item table, and what you what you uh, basically want to match as a record type. So you just need to provide the field. So let's say here I'm just providing product name column. Name should be exact match. Okay, so once you do that, and after that you just need to simply save and close. So if someone create the record with the same name again, it just considered as a duplicate. And once you do that, it basically available over here. And after that, you simply need to publish this rule. Sorry, you need to select this and you need to simply publish this. By default, it is unpublished. Okay, so make sure that you apply that change. And after that, if you create the same thing with the same name, basically uh, it just prompt you that this is the duplicate record. So this is also one of the important tip that you should know. So apart from it, there are many other things you can do under the data management. So just explore that. So uh, with this overall session, we first started with the different type of tables like activity table, virtual table. Then we talked about the different type of tips related to finding the related where your flows and apps is using the table and your dependencies. And then we talked about the relationship, um, advanced setting, what type of thing, parental, referential, and custom things. And we talked about the columns like formula column, roll up column, and we just discussed about some admin center features. So yeah, that's it. That's the overall content I have designed for this overall session. So I'm all good. So before we go with the question and the answer, let's just play the quiz. All the questions are from this session itself. So let's see how many of you actively participated in the sessions. So let me just share my screen and let's go with the quiz. So I'm sharing my screen. And meantime, so you simply need to type kahoot.it in your mobile browser or anywhere you are. So kahoot.it, that is the URL. And I'm also pasting the same link into chat window as well. And the game pin is 2768689. Okay, many people are joining. That's great. I'll wait for one more minute. and I'm looking chat window. I have many questions over here. So definitely after quiz, I'll try, or maybe I'll answer the same into chat window. Let's see how much time will left for that. But I am reading all your questions. Thanks for amazing questions. I'm really excited. Some things I also need to find out, but definitely I will go through all of these questions from here. All right, so we already joined 65 people. That's really great. So now let's get started. Maybe still people are joining, so I'll wait for another 10-15 seconds. Let's reach up to 70, maybe 68, 69. All right, we reached to 70. So now let's start the quiz. So the first question is true or false. We can write PowerFX formula with the formula column in Dataverse. Is this statement true or false? It's a very easy question. It's the first question, so it's very easy. Can we write PowerFX formula inside the formula column in Dataverse? Is this statement true or false? Yes, so the answer is true. That's great. Second question. M type of behavior for the relationship between the tables in Dataverse, referential, parental, custom, or all. So what are the different type of behavior we can set up for any type of relationship in Dataverse? So it's that. It's also a bit easy. And the answer is all. Great. Most of people have given the correct answer. That's great. Next is, so I don't know these names, but they are leading the leaderboard. That's great. Now let's see. When my parent record is deleted, I need all child record must be deleted. So how can I achieve this? I can set up parental relationship. B is I can set up referential relationship, or both, or none of this. What should be the ideal way? Like I simply need like parent is deleted, all child should be deleted. So the correct answer is setting up the parental relationship. So most of the people gave the correct answer. That's great. So when we want to achieve this, we simply need to use this. B1 is still leading the leaderboard. Great. Now, true or false? Activity table can be owned by organizations. Is this statement true or false? I highlighted this point 2 or 3 times when I was giving a session. It's a bit tricky. Activity tables can be owned by organizations. That is the either this statement is true or false. Let's see. So the correct answer is false because it is only owned by user or teams only. We can't own activity tables by organizations. So that's one thing. And let's see the leaderboard positions change drastically. Phil is leading the leaderboard. Great. Amrita and Kokulan. Great. And now next question. Fill in the blanks is a table, custom table in the Dataverse that has column containing data from the external data source. I have given this example like uh, SQL Server, activity table, virtual table, managed table, none. So if we want to create any external data source with your Dataverse, what would be the table that we should consider? So the correct answer is virtual table. So 62 people gave the correct answer. That's great. And let's see who is the winner. Number 3 is Praveen. Congratulations. Number second is Amrita. Congratulations. And who is first? Let's see. Phil. Congratulations. And let's see the who are the runner-up. Bilin and MK. Congratulations, everyone, and thank you so much for showing your love over here throughout my session. And at last, don't forget to follow my on my social media handles like my Instagram, Twitter, and on my YouTube channel. And I'm still here. I know it's already 2 minutes left for upcoming session, so I'll take the questions from the chat window, and I'll try to answer as much as I can in the chat window itself. But still, we have 2 more minutes, so I would hand over to Raz. Feel free to and just go
Thank
with
you
them.
so much, Ruvin. That was fun, wasn't it? Well done, guys. Well done on the winners there. So we will be beginning the next session in 2 minutes' time. Let's take a quick look. I don't think we've got much time for Q&A, but let's have a quick